These are calamansis from my tree outside, and I'm growing these the citrus plants in Tennessee, and we'll see what I end up making. So I'm taking the seeds out, cutting them in half, and I'm probably going to blend these. Okay, they're all cut up, and I have a big pile of seeds, and I'm going to try to start some more plants with the seeds. So I put the seeds in there, and I'm just putting those to the side. I have to cover the top of it because it has a hole. Okay, this is the blended calamansi. Take softened butter and cut it into pieces. About a cup of flour. I'm going to integrate them together with a fork. Like just mash it in there. And once it's pretty integrated with a clean hand, I'm going to pat it down into a pie crust formation. No water necessary for this particular pie crust, because I'm going to start by taking it and putting it in the oven for a little bit, about we'll go with 375 degrees. While that is pre-cooking in there, we're gonna move on. And I'm gonna empty out my calamansis that have been blended into a pan on the stove. So I'm gonna scrape that out with a spoon. Okay, I'm going to crack some eggs and then separate them into yolks and whites, which is a complicated process, but I'm sure that you'll figure out how to do it. You just kind of separate your yolks from your whites as best you can, and you try not to get yolks in the whites. So you'll do about, well, for a normal pie you would do 4. If you're doing double, then you would do 8. So that's yolks and whites, and see on the other side of that. So I ended up using 6. And meanwhile, my pie crust, it's an eyeball it thing, so like you kind of go by experience on how long you leave it in there. I'm turning the heat down on mine just a little bit. So I'm adding my egg yolks to the calamansi, and I'm gonna get a spoon and get all that out, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on a medium heat. I'm gonna get a whisk, and I'm gonna be whisking it. My whisk just fell apart, but one second. Okay, now that I have my whisk, the other whisk, one of them did fall apart. I am gonna whisk my egg in there, and make sure that you keep stirring. If it's on heat and you're not used to this, you could end up with either lumps or something worse. So like burn would be possible. So keep stirring. This will be your meringue, I guess is what it's called. And I'm gonna add sweet to it. I was debating between honey and maple syrup, but let me see what I decide. So I'm pouring in about a half a cup of honey, maybe a little more. And it just depends on how you like it. Some people would put in a couple cups of sugar actually, but personally I don't add a whole lot of sweet to my meringue. And you can taste it and see if it's to liking. And once it gets to where it's thicker, then you'll take it off the heat. But you've got to cook the eggs, so it's got to be thick enough. And don't forget, you might still have a pie crust in the oven. About now would be the time to turn it off. See how that has changed in consistency? It's starting to look a lot more like a pie. To me, it's not going to be perfect. You can wipe off the edges if you want to. My meringue is cooking, and it's looking a little chunky, but I don't think in a bad way. It's mostly the calamansis you see, but I'm going to turn it off. And I'm removing that from the heat, so it's just going to sit there while I work on my yolks, my white. So I think that I'll be titling this something like Scratch Pie. So I want you to know that I'm shaping cream and tartar in there. And this is how you do it if you're a scratch pie maker. Again, these are the whites. I'm just going to add a little bit of sweetener, which in my case will be maple, a little bit of maple syrup, to get some flavor that is yummy. The crust is off now. This is 6 egg whites. Oh, and the cream and tartar is to make it stiff, just so you know. This is not enough done, but you'll see as it does that it makes soft peaks. So it will become to where it makes peaks. Okay, is it soft peaks? It's got a little bit of firmness to it, but I still need to keep going. It's almost there. Okay, let me demonstrate soft peaks. It's like it comes up in a peak, but then it kind of topples over a little bit, but that's good. Okay, so I'm preheating my oven while I'm gonna add this part to the next layer. So to the pie, I'm gonna add the meringue to the pie. Okay, so I am just taking this beautiful yellow meringue and spreading. This isn't meringue? No, the meringue's the one. What is this called? Whatever this is called. The filling. I'm just spreading the filling. Forget where I called it meringue. It seems like it could be a meringue, but I guess it isn't. Okay, the filling. So I'm spreading the filling. And then I'm going to put the white, which is the meringue, on top of it. 1 second. Okay, distributing the meringue should be done with a spoon. So you're supposed to spoon it out on there. Because if you just flop it on there, as I know from experience, it doesn't work out very well. It kind of makes a big slump of it, as opposed to beautiful top. So don't pour it on there, spoon it. Okay, and we're right in the meantime, the oven is preheated. I have it all the way up to 450. It's just going to be in there a very brief amount of time. Okay, this is it. It's only got to stay in there for about 2 minutes. So it should look golden like that. You can take it a bit longer though. I would do a video of people eating it, but I think I'm giving it away. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching.